want you people to understand. Tell them that we ballin'. I am proud to be a Belizean. Tell them that we ballin'. You're bonded, you're bonded.
Welcome to the Civic Fellowship Academy Speaker Series. So for a quick bit of context, the Belize Civic Fellowship Program is focused on building civic knowledge and leadership and helping Belizeans understand how decisions are made, how systems work, and how as observers, but as informed participants. And so that's the energy that we are bringing to this session tonight. Our topic tonight is the proposed acquisition of SMART by BTL. And so we'll explore what the deal could mean, what questions Belizeans should be asking, what transparency and oversight should look like, and what real life impacts may be for Belizeans. So here's the format. We have an hour and a half panel discussion followed by 30 minutes of audience questions. So please drop your questions in the chat as we go along, and we'll try to get to as many of them as time permits. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to ARIA, who will introduce our panel, and she'll moderate tonight's discussion. And then she'll pass it over to Rishma, who will get the panel to give a call to action and close it off for us tonight. ARIA?
Thanks, Verlene. And yes, we're doing this Civic Fellowship Program, businessman, and he can give it from a very professional business perspective. You have youth advocate Ashley Longford, who reached out to the panel because she thought that young people needed to know more and wanted a way that we can discuss this in a mature and professional environment. We also have Dacia Regalado. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. She is also another young person that is in advocacy space, and she is also very much interested in the youth perspective. And we have Kenroy Westby, who is an accountant, and he is also in a business real estate space, another young person. And of course, we have Rishma and Verlene, who are part of the organizers and founders of the Civic Fellowship Program. And we have the Civic Fellowship Academy. So with that being said, I'll just let each person say something about themselves. It doesn't have to be anything long. And then we can start asking questions about SMART acquisition by BTL. Darrell, I'll let you go first.
So, good night. My name is Darrell Bradley. I am tool is as an educator. I've been an educator since I was 19 years old. My mom spent the better part of her life, about 40 years, being an educator. And I really believe in the idea of, more so than being a lawyer, sharing knowledge and learning from people and learning in discussions like this. I want to thank both ARIA and Verlene for setting up this. I want to thank the fellow panelists. I think it's a very important discussion, and I'm looking forward tonight to participating in a very fruitful and engaging conversation, not only to share insight, but also to listen and to learn, and I'm glad to be here tonight. So thank you all.
Thanks, Darrell. I will go next to Anwar. Anwar, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, good night, everybody, and thank you.
Yes, I work for Sea of Life, and I work closely. Yes, I work for Sea of Life, and I work closely with climate change and mitigation. And my main focus is like looking at policy making in regards to microplastics. But I'm also a equine vet specialist. And yes, I'm also working with young people within the Commonwealth. Yeah.
Thank you, Dacia. Kenroy Westby, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Kenroy Westby. I'm from Independence originally, but living in Placencia at the moment. just a youth having a lot of passion for his country. I am an accountant, have been doing accounting for the past 14 years and work with a lot of very large scale businesses here in the South. Currently, relative that affects the future of our country just interests me. So when I was asked to be a part of
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Ashley. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Ashley.
Hi everyone. Good night. Good night. Thanks, Aria, for that introduction, honestly. And yes, my viral video with the land acquisition that really hurt my heart. And also the students of UB as well. I don't know that land acquisition there, to be honest. And I hear nothing about that. But just an introduction of myself. I'm Ashley Langford. I'm a trade unionist at heart. I'm a proud member of the Christian Workers Union. I'm also the National Trade Union Congress of Belize Young Vanguard. That is the youth arm of the Trade Congress of Belize. I'm also a student advocate as well. I started off doing student advocacy in 2020, being a part of the National Student Union Belize, and also I was president from 2022 2024, and then also now I got newly elected last year as the Commonwealth Student Association regional representative for the Caribbean and Americas. So I really share the sentiment that young people need the voice. When I saw this whole thing coming up and with the acquisition coming up, I said that young people need a voice, need a platform to go to, that we need to speak about this. So I called ARIA and I'm like, this is where young people could talk about this. And I feel like this is something that youths need to talk about. It has a lot of implications for young people, for students, and also for the citizens of our country. Like I said, young people are not the no, but they are the no, but they're also the future. Like right now, young people work. So they're paying Social Security. The acquisition, a good percentage of the shares goes to SSB. We pay. Young people are also one of the largest users of mobile and internet services. Yet, but we have to be stay informed, and I feel like sometimes we're often let out of national conversation. So, I felt like it's time for us to speak up and to talk about this issue right now and about this matter. So thanks for having me, everyone.
Thanks, Ashley. Thanks for actually coming up with this and seeing the importance of it. And we're going to kind of jump right in so that we can just start having a conversation. And of course, if you guys feel you want to weigh in on any subject, please do so. But first, we have to talk about acquisition, right? Because we know that we're purchasing smart. That's what the government is proposing, that we're purchasing smart. Initially, what happened was the board at the time, or the chairman, said that this was a transaction between two private companies. However, the citizens of Belizeans are major shareholders in it.
So I like how I like how Aria, you started the conversation on statement that is put out there by politicians that this is a transaction between two private companies. That is not correct, and that's patently false. So we have to first appreciate that telecommunications in Belize is a heavily regulated industry. So there's the Telecommunications Act that regulates any kind of transaction and the industry of telecommunications and the provision of telecommunications services in Belize. So in order to get into this market, first of all, you have to be a licensee. So no person can just get up and provide telecommunication services. You have to make an application to the Public Utilities Committee and and everything that you do is a heavily regulated issue. So if you want to vary your license, if you want to deal with mergers and acquisition, if you want to do anything in terms of the industry, you have to deal with the regulator, and that is not a private transaction. The second and I think most important aspect of this, aside from this not being two private companies, is the fact that BTL is actually owned by the people of Belize through the government of Belize and through public entities. And I remember when I was much younger, and you had alluded to this, when we had this whole fight and scuffle and the nationalization of utility companies and the enshrining of these utility companies in our constitution. So the public ownership of